Hello, my name is Tom Shives, and welcome to an overview of the Winslow Dynamics Profile. The Winslow Dynamics Profile is a behavioral assessment tool that's been used since 1968. Over 1 million people have used the Winslow assessment and have used it for items such as employee development, applicant selection, individual self-improvement. And the whole goal here is to increase our own self-awareness and to also understand those better around us. It's been used in Major League Baseball and has been used, in fact, by other NFL and NBA sporting organizations. In addition, it has been used throughout the industry, starting with organizations like Franklin Covey, Jack Canfield with the Chicken Soup program and the coaching that goes around his successful principles coaching. It's also been used by Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Kiyosaki in his coaching program. You know, a study done a few years ago said that the true measure of success is not because of education or skill sets, but it's when those people are able to get their behaviors and understand them and then to do something about them. And that's what the Winslow Dynamics Profile does. So very quickly, I'm going to show you just a little bit about the Winslow Reports system. And this will be the output that a person would get after having taken the Winslow assessment, which takes about 45 minutes to 1 hour in order to complete. The profile is set up into 24 different categories or personality traits, and in each one there are numerous questions that explore how intense a person is in sociability, recognition, conscientious. You can see on the left-hand side when I'm reading down the page, and the interpersonal traits. And as you'll see that they're organized in 4 different categories: interpersonal, organization, dedication, and self-control. The real value in the Winslow reports is to provide really what we call an inside DNA check about our personality. What happens when we're stressed? That's usually when our true personality comes out. We call it sort of an under-the-hood check here to really determine what are our behaviors really like. As you can see, this person here that we're using in as an example, they're very organized and have a high degree of structure over here on the right-hand quadrant. You can see that they're a person that's kind of nominal sociability, but they do like to be the center of attention. Probably the most powerful part of this person's assessment is in the dedication and self-control side. On the dedication, this person has a high degree of ambition, works extremely hard with the endurance being almost a 10, and in addition is quite bold and very coachable and likes to be a leader. Now, without going into all the details of the different traits that are measured, I'd like to just give you another idea of what this assessment tool can be used for. Let's suppose that you were looking at this assessment and you wanted to determine whether or not you wanted to hire this particular person for a project manager. What will happen is we use the position compatibility summary that Winslow Reports has, and this puts on the chart those dark green areas, which are desirable areas. The reds are undesirable areas. And what it allows a person to do is to look at their assessment or have maybe their person who's going to hire them and determine whether or not they have a personality that really is commensurate with the position that we're looking at them for. Now, we all know it's not just our personality that determines success, but we know that it plays a large part in our success, and the Winslow Dynamics Profile allows us to take a look at that. One other feature that's particularly good for teams and for groups of people is to look how their personalities vary across a given for a given group of people. So what I'm going to do is just to pull up a group profile using this particular tool, and what it'll allow us to do is to say, in this case, here's 3 people on the left-hand side that are going to participate in this group, and we'll be able to, in one report, determine how varied the personality is across these different people. There's several ways that you can get at by looking at this chart. You can see whether or not these, first look at sort of the average distribution, And you can see that, for instance, let's look at exhibition there. No one is less than a 5 of these group of 3, and someone are as high as a 9. This group is not typically strong in leadership because we have, if you look down at the bottom on the left-hand side, you'll see one that's the average is more like a 4. One other view that you can look at with this tool is to look at the distribution. And by looking at the distribution, you can see specifically those 3 people where they fall. So in this case, under sociability, we had a person that's a 2. Also in that same group is a person that is a 9, which means that person is really an extrovert compared to this introvert here at a 2. So you can see that these people would have some real challenges in their work environment, and each one would need to do things to either modify their own behavior or maybe accommodate the behaviors of others. If we go back and look at the report we were looking earlier, the report actually consists of around 40 pages that gives you a lot of detail relative to your own personality. In particular, what is shown, you get a full page of what we call the influential traits. So here is the trait composure, of which this particular individual scored an 8 at. It gives a whole page of information describing a little bit more about that trait, how it might play out in their career, how it might play out in social areas, as well as some suggestions on what they might do in order to maintain and control this behavior even more. So the report is quite extensive, quite robust, and one of the things that makes the report so robust is it has 2 features on it that really we don't find any other assessment has. One of them is an accuracy controls. If you're not careful in taking this particular assessment, you may in fact have to reassess. So one of the things that we like to do is just to make sure that the individuals set aside 45 minutes to an hour of uninterrupted time and spend their time really getting a good assessment. The second thing it has are objectivity controls. And the objectivity controls ensure that what you actually get on your report is in fact valid. And so there are some control questions throughout the assessment that make sure that, in fact, the individual is not how they would like to be perceived, but rather how they really are perceived in their own, natural state. So this report, extremely robust, and we believe is really the Ferrari of the assessment industry. And one of the reasons we really mention these objectivity controls is that about 20 or 30% of those people that take this assessment have to reassess because of the fact that they're not being objective in their own analysis of their behavior. So we'd ask you to really spend some time making sure you answer the questions how you are and not how you would like to appear to be, because there are control questions that ensure that we are objective in our response. I'm sure we've all had this idea about, hey, boy, you're not the person I hired. And this helps us just give a better view at people when we review briefly their Winslow reports prior to hiring, or in fact when we discuss with others, here's how I'm like, and give us a better understanding of our own behaviors. So have a great assessment, and send us an email when you have completed your assessment. Thank you very much.